I'm not going to be on this very long. Yesterday was International Women's Day, and of course, everybody what women were celebrated. In other words, men were celebrated in place of women because we're just a bunch of uterus havers and childbearers, and that's all we're good for. And things to screw. That's all we're good for. So, anyway, this was an outrage this week that supposedly these men can go ahead and cheat in women's sports in U.S. powerlifting competitions. And I say the women need to take a walk. Don't compete. Don't whine when a man is taking all the awards. Don't whine about unfairness. Just walk out. This crap will stop. So there's that. So it's an obvious solution. And then Biden decided, as usual, to mark International Women's Day with a man, honoring a man. Now, it's just an outrage. Even when, women can't even have one damn day to celebrate their existence. They can't even have that. Men have to hog it up. They always have to. They have to be front and fucking center. Even pervs. They have to. And don't you just love it? Don't you just love that? And, I'm glad I'm 68. I'm not always going to be around. But, oh, cripe. I hate that. But anyway, Redux talked about it. I'll have to find a different link, though, when I upload this, because YouTube will flag it or something. But the Biden administration honored a man with an International Women of Courage Award at a White House ceremony intended to mark International Women's Day. This should have been condemned, and I think it was condemned on social media because it's a man. And that's enough of that. But he's just not worth celebrating. We aren't even allowed a day. A damn one freaking day out of the year. And then I came across this courtesy of Jessica Valenti about the new abolitionists. Oh, the Christian anti-abortion movement. They want to abolish. They think they're like the anti-slavery movement. This is how fucking delusional these people are. This is how screwed up they are with that damn sex for all shit and the ultra right-wing religious crap. They're just totally brainwashed into thinking that we've got to go back to the 50s, and when men did this and women did that, and all women were for was to screw and have babies and be a housewife and all that other shit. All that other demented shit. And I'm just sick of it. But they aren't like the abolitionists of the slavery era. They're like the prohibitionists of the 1920s and prior to. The temperance outfits that they thought they could stop drinking and stop alcoholism and all the ills associated with it if they just simply abolished alcohol in the country. We knew that was a whole total failure. So is this. It's going to fail. They ain't going to bring back the 50s. Women aren't going back. They'll just give up on men. They'll just... They'll do that before they ever go back to this era that they want. Here's what this article... They quote some nitwit here. Well, there's several of them. Here's this how fucking demented. It's the worldview of the abortion abolitionists is an ultra-conservative. It's not. It's fascist. Traditionalist worldview. It's also a sign that a people are under the judgment of God when women rule over them. So women are too stupid to do anything of leadership or be independent or anything. They're a thing to just use. This piece of shit man, an Oklahoma author and pastor called Brett Baggett, and he's young, citing Isaiah 3:12 during his conference presentation on Friday. This is a very unpopular opinion today. Of course it is, even among evangelicals, because you guys are all feminists and you don't know it. You actually hate what God says about the roles of men and women, not only in the home, but also in the church. You really hate what God says your role is in society, that women in civil government is actually a sign of God's judgment on you. Bull fucking shit. This is why you're going to lose. This is why you're going to lose. Nobody's going to want you. This is why. This is why church attendance is going in the shitter, especially this right-wing crap. It's going in the shitter. And more women are turning away from marriage and kids because men don't pull their weight at all. And they've had it. But this guy pretty much says what their aim is. So how do you like it, women, to be a fucking inferior? That all you're good for is a thing for a man to use. You're lower than livestock to them. At least livestock have some dignity. They might be slaughtered, but they have some dignity, they have some respect. Women don't even have that. Anyway, so there was that. That made my blood boil a little bit. And then some good news is that actor Robert Blake died. And, you know, he should have been dead a long time ago. And he's just proof that the good indeed die young. And of course, he'd been a child actor. He was in the Our Gang comedies. He was one of dozens of kids that were in that. And then he, as an adult actor, he was in a lot of different roles, including In Cold Blood back in 1967. And then he probably had his biggest success on television with that show Beretta that lasted a few years. And I think he was co-starred with a cockatoo, I think it was, named Elvis, I think. You know, I'd have to look it up, but I think I'm right on that. But he was real popular. But then, you know, he always, I got to find out how tall he was. Let's see. And I'm being a little shit here. How tall was Robert Blake? 5'4". Yep, that explains it. So he was supposedly 5'4". So he had this short man complex, right? But he just, on the Tonight Show and on all kinds of talk shows and stuff, he just thought his shit didn't stink. So I didn't like the guy. I mean, I never met him, but I didn't like him just because of the way he came across. He just was just awful. And so, why wasn't I surprised that he, back in 2002, 2001, whatever the hell it was, 2001, that he murdered his much younger wife, Bonnie Lee Bakley, who was not a saint, as we know. She was a kind of a minor con artist. She always tried to latch on to famous men like Jerry Lee Lewis and others, and Dean Martin, I think, was another. And she had her own, I think, a mail order business or something where she scammed people, Lonely Hearts type shit. But none of that really matters, although she was basically put on trial at his murder trial. What matters is that he killed her, and he got away with it. And the Daily Mail completely screwed up the headline. They said that he was acquitted of hiring a hitman to kill Bonnie Lee Bakley. That's not what happened. What happened was he tried to get hitmen to do it, at least one, maybe more than one, and they turned him down, so he decided to do the job himself outside the restaurant. I think he had a pickup truck or a car or something, and he shot her in there. But he was seen wielding a gun. They ate dinner, killed her, and that was that. But he got away with it. Because he was Robert Blake. You know, at least when old Phil Spector died, I had some compassion for Phil Spector, a little bit. I mean, because he had mental illnesses. He was just off his rocker crazy. This guy has no excuse. He was just arrogant little shit that, you know, he thought he was owed. And he wanted that baby daughter that Bonnie had with him. And, you know, what better way to get her than to kill the mother? But it was despicable the way they trashed her in that murder trial. But he got away with it, at least that way. But he wound up like O.J. Simpson and became a pariah. And nobody would hire him, you know, I mean, little or no job offers. He was pretty much done. And he, at one point, I think he was mucking stalls, you know, at some ranch or something. But he was a piece of trash. And I say good riddance to him. But this is, you know, all these things, these various articles here, just tell you, you know, how much women are denigrated. Whether they're denigrated in, you know, in a murder trial, whether they're denigrated in the abortion issue, whether they're denigrated in women's sports, or whether they're denigrated by the federal government, and a man is highlighted. Anyway, that's all I have to say.